Before we get started, there's a small check that we need to present. It's back here somewhere. There we go.
Eastern Michigan is announcing the biggest gift to its athletic department ever, and it was done for track and field and by this guy over here in the middle, Dan McClory. Dan, you used to run track and cross country for Eastern Michigan. What possessed you to be such a great benefactor for Eastern Michigan?
What was a priceless experience that I had here, quite frankly, and the ability to compete at the level that's been established here at Eastern is just unbelievable. And the fact that this program is so inclusive and developmental and allows people from all different ability levels to improve themselves, be a part of the team, is just extraordinary. So I feel the least that I could do is to start to give back, and that's what we're doing now. And we believe this is going to be the first of many other gifts, not only to track and field, but to the university in general.
Well, let's do a little bit more here about who else we have in the picture. We have the current president of Eastern Michigan, Don Lopnow. And Don, what did you think when you first heard about this gift?
Well, I think it's just fantastic that Dan is stepping forward to support one of our premier programs. The track, field, and cross country have had a storied history at this university, and the development of Olympians for every Olympics since the 60s. It's been really outstanding, and we really appreciate his generosity as it will continue the long-standing history and outstanding distinctiveness of our track, field, and cross-country programs.
Thank you, Don. And also we have over here Jim Streeter, who's Director of Sports Information at Eastern Michigan. And one of the issues in track and field, especially in the Mid-American Conference, has been many schools have dropped men's track. Jim, how do you see Dan's gift as changing the momentum here?
Well, Eastern Michigan has one person involved in the fight right now is Bob Parks. And if everybody that knows Bob Parks knows when he gets on something, he's tenacious. And he's trying to convince Western to bring it back for the men's side and some other schools. And the hard part to convince everybody that comes into athletics nowadays is it's not the number of sports you have, but the quality of the ones you have. And basically, the most people that give back to the program and to the university are the people that come from what they call the Olympic sports. And that's what we've tried to convince people that, you know, track is a wonderful thing. We've had, over the years, with Bob Parks especially, 100 guys out for track. And 50 of those guys maybe were not stars or anything else, but stay loyal to the program and loyal to the schools. And that's what we tried to tell them to keep going.
Well, track and cross country are such a foundation for a lot of other programs. You know, I know in some cases, even the football programs have looked to the track coaches to teach their runners, the football players, how to run. Dan, I want to ask you this. Was the way the Mid-American Conference has been treating track and field an issue in your deciding to give some money to Eastern Michigan?
It was, but it isn't. And what I mean by that is this is an offensive gift, not a defensive one. And we've already established the fact that track and field and cross country is here to stay. And now we're going to take it to an even higher level of prominence.
Well, it's got great prominence as it is. Let's talk a little bit about your own running. You were here in the early 80s, and you did fairly well in cross country and the distance running. What was your favorite event?
Well, first of all, for the record, I like to correct the doing very well part. So I did okay, and I was here 25 years and 30 pounds ago. So especially enjoyed the steeplechase, 3,000 meter steeplechase outdoors, and the indoor 2 and 3 mile. But cross country was really the sport. And we had some great rivalries over the years with teams like Western Michigan that unfortunately no longer has a program. And the Mid-American Conference meet was really the pinnacle of our season. And Coach Parks has demonstrated year after year after year he kept building on that success and has more championships in the MAC than any other coach out there.
I think one of the great stories is that people come to Eastern Michigan who really don't have a great history, and they come up being champions. And do you attribute that to the coaching?
I contribute it to the program in general. And, you know, we were speaking the other day with Rod Slater, who was a football player at Eastern that when he graduated, went back to Arkansas and got involved with a guy named Clinton and eventually became the first African American Secretary of Transportation. And Rod said, you know, Dan, the unique thing about all the Olympians that have been produced by Eastern is that they didn't come here as Olympians. They became Olympians because they went through this program. I think that's a really important point.
I agree. And I have one more question for you. Are you still running?
I am. I'm still running 5:30 in the morning, 2 or 3 days a week, recovering from a minor back injury, but I'm going to keep at it until they say I can't do it anymore.
And just to follow up on that one question, how is running affecting your life? Is that a good thing?
I think running is a great thing. It's obviously a sport and a skill and a discipline that you can take with you as long as you want. It's not like playing football or basketball or some other sports. So I continue to be involved with age group track, with my daughter's grade school, my son's high schools. It's something that I think you take with you forever.
Dan, thank you very much for the gift, and congratulations on really bringing a lot of attention to track and field everywhere, and especially to Eastern Michigan.
You're very welcome.